Oh my god. Oh my god, my family's watching my YouTube channel. I cannot. This is really, really weird. Hi loves, what's up? It's me, Audra. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. And if you are new here, well, you're in for a treat. All right, if you enjoy chaotic, frenetic energy, you like beauty, you like horror, and a little bit of commentary thrown in between, I suggest you go on ahead and subscribe for the low, low price of $0. I will tell you a random fact about myself. And in today's random fact, I tweeted this out, but I used to be in choir all the way up into high school, and then I quit choir. If you're wondering why, it's because the premier singing group, they were called the Confederates. And you had to try out. Well, here are my socials. I am loving all the animal content. Nikki, thank you so much for all the spiders that you send me. Like, they're so cute and sweet and fuzzy, and their little faces are just the world to me. All right, what are we here with today, Audra? Well, today is not only September, the new start of the spooky season, because I said so. We are also here with a Terror Tuesday. Now, for those of you that don't know, what I like to do is just share my love of horror with all of you whilst I look like the Mad Hatter. All right, so today we're going to do something a little different. I thought it'd be fun if I went into my own personal horror vault and talked about movies I own and why I own them and why I like them. Also, before I get started, if you haven't seen the movie Host yet, it is on Shudder. If you have Shudder, recommend you try that out. All right. Okay, so let me first start by saying I often buy movies I've never seen before. This is a normal thing for me, mostly because I don't go to the theater. So if you're not somebody who goes to the theater all that often, I mean, I'm gonna buy the movie. I don't like to rent. I know it's so weird, but I don't like to rent movies because if I really enjoy it, then I feel like I've ended up wasting part of the money that I could have spent towards purchasing it. Does that make sense? Especially in our new streaming world, when you're maybe on Amazon Prime streaming or some, it's like whatever, and the issue there is if it's $3.99 to rent and $4.99 to buy, I'm gonna buy it. But even before that, I was the same way. So if a movie was $19.99, which was the going price for the majority of brand new movies that came out, and renting it was gonna be, you know, like $6, I was just like, I'm just gonna buy it. I know, you just sit there. But to me, the way it works in my little brain is I spent $6 and then I end up liking it, so now I'm gonna spend $20, so it was $26, and I really just could have spent 20, okay? All right, and I end up having them anyway regardless. So let's get started because I'm taking way too long. So we're actually going to start with Chernobyl Diaries. Now, I haven't seen this in a little while. I remember rewatching it, and maybe a quick little review. So for those of you who haven't seen Chernobyl Diaries in horror form, it is a movie about people who are being extreme tourists, basically. They're just, once again, this is where you learn a very important lesson about traveling anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're traveling within these continental United States or if you are, you know, overseas in Europe. You know why you take the beaten path, and it's because of shit like this. Also, I curse, and if you didn't see yesterday, I think tomorrow's video, not yesterday's, but anyway, I curse. If that's something that bothers you, I'm so sorry, but I'm not gonna change me. And also, I'm a black woman on YouTube. I have nothing to lose. All right, so Chernobyl is one of those movies that definitely teaches you stay on the damn beaten path, because they go off the beaten path because they want to go to Chernobyl. And old dude is like, listen, they're not letting us in. And they go to check it out and they're not letting them in like normal, so they go some back way. Mistakes. First off, first mistake was going in the first place. Second, the back way. Never go the back way. Anyhow, they get in and then shit just starts getting wild, and it's like, are they zombies? What are they? We don't ever actually know what the creatures are in here. Like, are they just radioactive monsters. Like, what exactly is the situation? I bought this thinking it was gonna be fun and exciting, and like, I didn't think it was gonna be fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly didn't think it was gonna be fantastic, but I thought it'd be fun and exciting. There is some fun unpredictability going on with it. It is interesting in some ways, but I just feel like it wasn't well thought out. Like, I feel like there was more to this, and that they can redo this in such a way that gives it more life, because I feel like a lot of the life got sucked out of it pretty quickly, and I almost feel like they should have made like radioactive type people and should have just left it to animals, because I think that that was scarier. If you've seen this, let me know, because I just really feel like when they did that, that made this much scarier to me. I felt like the animals were very frightening, but the second you started having the radioactive people, I was kind of over it. Sorry, my phone is going off and I have to figure out how to turn that off, because I forgot that I have my do not disturb on and it just went off. Hold on. All right, so sorry for that. That got a little weird. Next up, The Conjuring. Okay. I bought this sight unseen, and so glad I did. This movie is terrifying. Terrifying. And I think what makes it so very frightening is just like the gradual, okay, so first of all, before I even get there, I need to talk to you about Lily Taylor, because Lily Taylor is a bit of a horror queen. She was also in The Haunting, which is misunderstood. That movie's all right. We'll talk about that some other time. But she's a little bit of a horror queen. She tends to show up in like really good horror films. So she does that. So, you know, when I rewatch The Haunting, like, I kind of like it. We'll talk about that another time. Anyway, I really like this. This is based on the true case files of the Warrens, which Lorraine Warren is actually in this movie. She's sitting in the audience. If you didn't know this before, but Lorraine is actually sitting in the audience in the lecture hall when he's like talking about possession, when Ed is supposed to be talking about possession. So that was really cool. And this is one of those based off of like real case files, obviously still to a degree embellished, we know. But this one is really, really frightening. First of all, we hadn't seen Ron Livingston in a while, or at least I hadn't, but obviously I'm not looking for movies with Ron Livingston in them. Neither here nor there. But as we move into this movie, it starts to get more and more frightening. I think one of the scariest things is the clap game, when they're playing the clap game and suddenly there's just like a clap and like nobody, oh God. So it's not just frightening because it's based off of a true story. The performances are really good, okay? These are some top-notch ass performances. Everybody, even the children, do a very, very good job, which is hard to do in these types of movies because there's gonna be some CGI. There's also gonna be things that you're supposed to be reacting to that aren't necessarily happening on set. So you have to be reacting to something that's not actually there. They did a fabulous job with that. Also, with a runtime of 112 minutes, for them to keep me engaged for the entire length of the movie says something, because I have some serious and intense ADD. And if you don't know me in real life, here's what I'm gonna tell you. More often than not, I am on my laptop doing stuff on there while listening to something like YouTube on my phone, while having TV on the television. And like, I'm doing all of these activities. So for a movie to really grab me like that, to where I can't do any of my other activities and I'm actually gonna get laser focused on your movie, like fuck yeah, like that's where it is, that's where it was. If you have not seen The Conjuring, I don't know what you're doing with your life, but you really need to see this. But it is very, very scary, and even those of you who do not like scary movies, this one is not a blood and guts, okay? This one is actually extremely frightening, but like don't watch the Care Bears afterwards. Let me think. I'm trying to think of what you could watch afterwards that's actually not scary. Don't come for me on that Care Bear shit, because the Care Bears is scary, okay? Rainbow Bright, the original Rainbow Bright movie, okay? Try watching that after, or watch one of my videos. Hi, I'm not scary. All right, so you can do that. But this is fabulous and fantastic. I had such a good time. The kid actors, amazing. Lily was great. And I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I'm just really glad that this is one of those ones that I picked up. So yay for me. Another movie that I picked up, sight unseen, is Scream 4. Okay. Scream 4. Of course I was gonna get this. This is by Wes Craven. I feel like this was the last thing he did before he passed. And rest in peace. I just loved Wes Craven. Just loved him. Even The Shocker, even though it's terrible, like the music in there is really good. So that makes up for how shitty the rest of it is. But this, surprisingly good. I have a thing for Scream. I really just love the Scream series. And I can't, even when I try, even at my most critical, I still will always end up watching every single one of them all the way through. I just really like Scream. I love the premise, I love the idea, I like the idea of the two killers. I like that this is a series that can continue on and on and on and on, because really the only person who has to continue to be there for the most part is Sydney. You know what I mean? And if you want to hear about this, I do have exactly one episode of my podcast, and I'll drop it down here. I keep recording stuff and I hate it, and this is like the only thing I didn't hate, so I'm still working on that. But if you want to hear about me talking about Sydney and all that good stuff, you can check out my podcast down here. You don't have to. No tea, no shade. Anyways, but like, this is one that can be continued because Sydney's really the main character. This is a series in which, for the first time in a really long time, the killer isn't the main character. Now I know you're gonna be like, no, but like Ghostface changes. The person behind the mask changes all the time, okay? Sydney's fucking eternal. So I really like this. I liked the new media spin on it as well. That was phenomenal for me. For me, it was phenomenal. We can agree to disagree, but I love the new media spin. I like the idea of basically being YouTube famous or an IG baddie, essentially, by being like the one who survives. And Emma Roberts is in it, who I don't really care for, but I'm actually really glad and liked her performance in this movie. Maybe it's because that's how I feel like she really is in real life, even though that's probably not true, but who cares? That's how I feel. And that is why I like Scream 4. But yeah, if you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it. It's such a good one. I think this may be one of the last DVDs that I bought too. I know that they're Blu-ray now, but I just call them all DVDs because I'm old as fuck, and that's how it works out. Next up, we have OG horror, Final Destination. Now this I did not buy sight unseen. I think I saw the original in the theater. However, I did get it on Blu-ray because I wanted to be able to watch it on fucking Blu-ray. This is that movie that, listen y'all, I don't know how many of you remember that Seann William Scott is in this movie. Like, do y'all remember? Anyway, he is, and like, I don't know if it's pre or post American Pie. I feel like it's post, but I could be wrong. Like, I need to know what year this shit was made. It's post. I feel like it's post American Pie. All right, so anyway, and by the way, Seann William Scott has just never recovered. Have you noticed that? Like, his acting career is just like, anyhow, moving on. Final Destination was that movie that really, really taught us about fate. Really, I mean, you have the butterfly effect, which is just nightmarish. It's nightmarish. But Final Destination really taught us that, like, not just death, you know what I mean? Like, that there's an order to things, right? Whether you believe it or not, but this was a movie that made you feel like that sensation that there's an order to things. So these people all escape a plane crash, which, by the way, if you haven't seen all of the Final Destination movies, it all comes back together in the end, and I just really do enjoy that. Like, they get progressively worse and worse, and the deaths get bloodier and gorier, but if you watch all of them and then you come to the very, very end of the series, it ties this one to it, which actually makes this one not the beginning. All right, anyway, I really like this because of its deal with destiny. You have a date with destiny, you have a date with fate, and specifically death. If you escape a situation in which you were supposed to die, like all of them were supposed to die in this plane crash, but because he foresaw it, now this is the key though, you can have an NDE, but you can't foresee your own death. Do you know what I'm saying? So this actually goes back into the idea of fortune telling and reading cards and having any kind of senses, which is you're never supposed to delve into your own, like by yourself. Like you're not supposed to do that, because if you were to see the future, Oedipus, all that kind of good stuff, then you would only do things that are going to make that happen. Does that make sense? Like you wouldn't be able to escape the future. So the same thing with death. You saw death coming, and had he just sat on the plane and ate his food, then it would have been fine, because the deaths that they incurred after, just like heartbreaking. The original Final Destination, the deaths are actually heartbreaking in a lot of ways, because they survived a freaking plane crash, and then their deaths are just so heartbreaking. And like, I feel like this one and the second one do a fairly good job of that. By the time you get into the third, the fourth, and the fifth, and I feel like there's one more, I feel like there's 6 of these all together, because I feel like there's like Final Destination, and then there's like the Final Destination. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I do feel like that the original one was just really just deep, and I don't know if I want to say fun. It's very dark. It's very, very dark. You know, like the original Batman 1 and 2. Michael Keaton, not George Clooney. All right, we have one more, and then I will let you be free. All right, for our 5th and final movie, we have My Soul to Take. All right. So this is another Wes Craven movie, and I'm going to put in a linky thing. I'm gonna put in a link for you to check out. I believe it is Ryan Hollinger's video on this movie. But here's the thing. I like this movie. I think a lot of people didn't like it. I feel like it was very underrated. I felt like it was good. It was kind of creepy, so I'm gonna just read the back of it for you so that maybe it can give you an idea of what it was about, because I feel like this is one of those ones that even horror lovers, that a lot of y'all didn't see, so I just want you to be able to watch it. So anyway, it says, on the day the Riverton Ripper vanished without a trace, 7 children were born. Today, they're all turning 16 and turning up dead. Legendary director Wes Craven keeps your heart racing with a suspense thriller filled with twists, turns, and a dark secret that will send your soul searching for cover. So I don't want to give away too much about this, but it's really good. I actually truly enjoy this, and I think that if you watch it as it being a thriller and not necessarily a horror, but also like damaging, then I think you'll have fun with this. But I think that if you watch it with the expectation that something supernatural was happening, maybe not so much. We'll see. How many of y'all have seen this? Please let me know I'm not alone. In fact, now I'm gonna go watch this. All right. So that is it for today's Terror Tuesday. Thank you all for spending some time with me today. I don't know if you noticed, but now we're at Camp Crystal Lake. And as usual, huge shout out to my patrons. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a better song, because there's getting to be more of y'all, and like I have to add to the song or do something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you all again. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Until next time, please be safe out there. Please, please be kind. It costs $0 to be kind, and it's literally so good for your soul. And until next time, deuces! Oof. Oh my God, my outfit. Stingy! Lorraine Warren. Why did I say Elizabeth? Oh, I know why. Let me just start that over. Do I have shit right here? I think I do.